Hi, the title of this video is What is Chemistry? And the purpose of this video is to give you an opportunity to learn something new about the class that you're taking. But I think what may be better than just explaining what chemistry is as a subject is to do that by telling you how I fell in love with chemistry. So growing up, I always had a love of art and science. These were two of my favorite classes, along with math, actually. I just loved learning. I really enjoyed it. And even though I was really strong in science and math classes, I didn't see myself doing science and math probably because I didn't see many scientists and mathematicians who looked like me. So I kind of ruled that option out. But I did see artists that looked like me, so I thought, you know what? I think I'll become an art teacher. And I thought that way for many years. And that was until sophomore year when I got Mr. Bannon for my chemistry teacher. And he had a reputation in my high school of being like the toughest teacher. So even though I was a bit nervous to be in his class, I was up for the challenge because I just really enjoyed learning. And I kind of wanted to see what the class was about. So through his class, I learned to fall in love with chemistry. And I'm going to give you the 4 reasons why I fell in love with chemistry in my sophomore year. The first reason is chemistry is the central science. What do I mean by that? All science is based on physics. Physics is the branch of science that observes nature and the world around us and makes sense of it by coming up with physical principles. And in chemistry, those physical principles are used to describe matter. Now, matter makes up the world around us. So, since chemistry uses the physics principles discovered in physics to describe matter, other branches of science use the learning that is discovered in chemistry to make sense of their disciplines. So, for example, a lot of biology is explained through chemistry. And so you can see here in the diagram that chemistry is like sort of in the middle between physics and all these other branches of science. And that's why it's called the central science. Now, why was this important to me? I love making connections when I'm learning, and chemistry helped me make connections between all of my science classes since it's sort of that central science. And I was able to discover common themes in science, which was super cool and super fun for me. So that was the first reason why I fell in love with chemistry. Another reason why is somewhat related to that. The labs and the problems that I did in my chemistry class gave me real-world applications of the math I was already learning, particularly algebra. And so what that did was it sort of strengthened my math skills. Like I understood that better. Now you may be thinking, well, I know math is involved in science, but how? Well, remember I said that physics is the foundational science? Well, physics is founded, and all sciences are founded on mathematics. And what do I mean by that? All of the principles that are discovered in physics, like principles involving forces and energy, etc., they must be quantified through math, meaning they must be explained mathematically in order to justify that principle, in order for people to know that principle makes sense. So math is sort of like the language of truth for science. So a lot of science will use math in some way. And the cool thing is that through science, through that application of math and science, you'll have a better understanding of math and really strengthens your math skills, which is super important for life, actually. Math skills are super important for success in life. The next reason, before I get into, I want to give you a definition of the official definition of what chemistry is, and then we'll go into that reason. So chemistry is known as the study of matter, and that includes like what matter is made of, how matter changes, and the properties of matter. So when I say matter, it means anything that, the official definition is anything that has mass and occupies space. So many things that we experience are matter, like something like um, medicine that you take, or chemicals that you use to clean with, or food, right? That's all, those are all examples of matter. Those are big things. Small things as well, like air, which we cannot see, but we can feel it when the wind blows, is an example of matter as well. Now, all matter is made of tiny, tiny atoms that we cannot see. So, like if you were to zoom in on just the head of a pencil, just the pencil tip, there will be numerous atoms, more than you can count, like trillions and trillions and trillions, right? They're super duper tiny. We cannot see them. And although we cannot see them, we can actually make sense of atoms in a way. So, what we can do is that we can draw or think about matter through modeling as little tiny circles or particles. And that's what I often did in my chemistry class, was in order to make sense of the stuff that I couldn't really see, I would oftentimes draw these what are called particle diagrams. And so chemistry actually gave me an opportunity to do the other thing that I really enjoyed, which was draw. And these drawings weren't super duper perfect. And, full disclosure, even though I really do love art, I'm not the greatest artist, but I did have an opportunity to make sense of the world by drawing. And anyone who's a visual learner will find this helpful, is by doing a lot of drawings in chemistry. It's also kind of fun when you draw these things and get to see these things that you cannot see with your own eyes and make sense of it. So reason number 3, chemistry class gave me many opportunities to draw. And the final reason I fell in love with chemistry is that chemical reactions are fun to observe, and learning about how chemical reactions work is also quite fun. Like why when you mix these two clear liquids, all of a sudden this yellow solid comes out known as a precipitate. Or why when you burn these metal salts that you have different colored flames. Or why when you put a piece of sodium in water, there's this big explosion, right? So all of that was fun, not to just see it, but also learn about why that happened. So what I'm hoping that you get out of this video is that you will recognize that the things that I loved about chemistry, the things that helped me fall in love with chemistry, are the things that you'll probably experience in this class. And understand that chemistry can help you make those connections to other science classes, strengthen your math skills, practice your ability to model, which is like drawing things to represent something else, and hopefully also have fun. So before I wrap up, I just want to thank you, Mr. Bannon, the toughest teacher in my high school chemistry class, who fostered my love of chemistry and also encouraged me to pursue this career, which I didn't think that I could do. So even though you were super tough, you really helped me out. All right, thank y'all for listening. Have a quality day.